Hello and welcome to Frozen Synapse 2 Dev Diary number 9, maybe. I'm Ian Hardingham, designer and lead programmer on Frozen Synapse 2, and I have slightly lost my voice, but I'm still here making videos for you guys. So I hope you can get along with me sounding like a frog that makes video games. Today we're going to do a deep dive into a specific kind of level generator thing that I've been working on this week. So let's go. Now here we have a relatively standard Frozen Synapse 2 building lot, quite a big one actually, and we are going to generate some buildings inside it. So let's hit the test export button and wait a little while the pixies work out the nav mesh, and here we go, it's loaded. Right, so as you can see we have a lot of nice buildings generated using my cool building generator, and what we're going to be talking about today is the background generator, which you're seeing here with a lot of cars and cylindrical posts. Now, basically, we want to be able to have various different building generators create interesting looking buildings and then have mix and match with interesting backgrounds. Maybe you've got some random boxes lying around. Maybe you have a bit of a car park, as you can see here. Maybe you have some forest, maybe some trees lying around, that kind of thing. And that's what we've been using for a long time now. But as you may agree, this doesn't look quite right. It all looks a little bit regular, and you can kind of see the human brain is telling you that the cars aren't really matching up with the building. So I needed to fix that, and I stared at this for a very long time, trying to work out exactly what was wrong. And eventually I was hit with the inspiration that we needed two generators. We needed a certain kind of thing to go around the edges of buildings, and then a different generator to inhabit larger, clear areas. So I'm now going to show you how the algorithm that I wrote tells the difference between those two things, and look at some output. Now, I've removed all of the background stuff rendering so we can just focus on the rooms. And here we can see the rooms pretty clearly, and what I've done is take the shape of those and then just expand them out by about 200 in-game units. And this ends up looking like this mess. You can barely see what's going on here, but basically each one of the rooms has like a big fat box around it. So that's the first stage. Now, when our other programmer, James Urquhart, otherwise known as Mango Fusion, was getting these walls rendering nicely, he put something magical into the game called the Clipper. The Clipper can take a bunch of arbitrary polygons, such as all of these walls, which are all sort of rectangles basically, and when they meet, put them together into nicely rendering polygons. Don't look at that there. So when I was doing this, I was like, aha, I can use the Clipper to get to the next stage. So I throw all those big boxes into the Clipper and come out with this magical thing right here, which is starting to look a lot more like something we'd actually like to use. I'll just rotate it there a little bit so you can see what's going on there. That's definitely starting to be the kind of zone we want for the background around the buildings. At the moment there's a problem, which is that it goes around outside the edge of the building lot, and also it obviously covers the rooms themselves, so they would have trees or whatever in them. We don't want that, so the next step is getting rid of those things. So now we take the shape of the entire building lot, we throw it in the Clipper, and we call an AND operation, saying that we want the resulting shape to only be where there's both the big lot shape and the weird conglomeration shape we made. So this cuts off the edges nicely, and now in fact we have this little separate area down here. And next I throw in all of the original room zones again. I expand them a little bit, and I call remove operations on those from the Clipper, so they get taken away from the shape, and we finally have what looks to be the exact area that we want to fill with stuff around the edges of buildings. And here's what it looks like using our weird car park generator on those areas. This is definitely starting to look a lot better. As I say, this isn't quite finished yet, but it's a big improvement. And now we have something which I think looks a little bit more natural and starts to bother the brain a little bit less. I think these cars are all sort of pointing slightly too much in the same direction, so we need to have a look at that. But that's, I think, quite a marked difference. And now I'm going to use one of the generators that we already have on the outside bits to add some trees around here. And here we have the finished product, or the finished product for this stage anyway. We've put some of our trees around the areas that don't fall under the banner of being very close to buildings. And these are just something we already had lying around, and they're a bit more suitable for taking up large spaces. So yeah, I think we've made a lot of progress here. This is definitely going in the right direction. Next week, Paul is coming down to the office, and him, myself, and Robin will work on trying to get these background generators working perfectly in terms of what their content are. Again, looking at this, seems like a problem with these cars all looking like they're in the same direction. I think if we had a bit of random rotation on there, it would start to look extremely organic. So there you go. Thanks again for listening to me waffle. Trying to get these generators right is really, really hard. When you're trying to generate an entire city of stuff and it's just me and Robin working tirelessly, that's pretty hard. But we're kind of getting there now. And these are the kind of tools that makes the difference between the game looking a bit funky and starting to look really, really awesome. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.